Welcome to Messing with Matt, the cooking show where I will show you how to impress your friends at parties, on study breaks, or if you're just looking for a good home-cooked meal. On this week's episode, I'm going to reveal a very secret family recipe that comes from my aunt, Donna Lee. Now this recipe is perfect because it's just in time for football season for all you football fans out there. You can either make it whenever the guys come over to watch their game, or ladies, if you're trying to impress your favorite fraternity on campus, this is the recipe for you: buffalo chicken dip. For buffalo chicken dip, you will need a 9x13 baking dish, 2 blocks of cream cheese, 2 packs of ranch dressing mix, 2 cans of chunked chicken, a bottle of Frank's Red Hot wing sauce, Colby Jack, and scoops. Now, what you do is you first combine your cream cheese with your dressing mix. Now, whenever you use your dressing mix, if you're going to be making a lot of batches of this, over the couple months, I always recommend using Hidden Valley's large container of mix, just because, it saves on money and on time, because, if you just have the stuff on stock all the time, you can always make it. So you go ahead, you combine your cream cheese and your dressing mix. It helps to have a blender, but otherwise, just make sure your cream cheese is really soft, because then it's easier to work with. Oh, the show is called Messing with Matt, isn't it? Don't use the stuff off your shirt, but go ahead, mix the rest of it together. So once your cream cheese and your dressing mix are put together, you go ahead and you spread that on the bottom of your pan. Now this batch is a double recipe, so it's a 9x13 pan. You can use aluminum or glass, or if you just have a regular pan so you're covered for cakes. Any one of those are fine. If you're making a single batch, cut all the ingredients by half, and you'll put that inside an 8x8 cooking dish. But this is party size. Go ahead, spread that out nice and evenly all over the bottom. A nice even coat, so that way everybody has a fair amount of cream cheese in their scoop. That looks like it's good. Go ahead, clean off your spatula. Make sure you always clean your hands before you cook, and especially whenever you're going to be using them a lot, but there's your cream cheese. Next, you drain your chicken. So just go ahead, dump out all the juice, squeeze it really good, make sure it's all out, because you don't want it soaking wet. It just takes away from the flavor. Go ahead, drain your chicken, and then you should shred it in your hands, and then you just put it on top. Now, I use canned chicken, but other people, if you prefer not to, buy store-bought chicken like that, you are more than welcome to go ahead and boil down your own chicken breasts and shred them up instead. Either tastes fine. This is just the easier way to get it done. Especially, if you can go ahead, you can prep this the night before a party, refrigerate it, and then cooking time's only a half hour. So you don't really need to worry about, it going bad or anything overnight, because all this stuff is fine. And then once you go ahead and you cook it half hour into the party, everybody's going to love it. So, next step, your buffalo wing sauce. I prefer, and everybody loves my recipe whenever they use it, but use the Frank's Wings buffalo sauce. That is very important. Now this recipe can be substituted out for any other sauce. Barbecue, a lot of people like barbecue, so what I'll do is I'll do a sweet heat, and I'll mix some Frank's wing sauce with my favorite barbecue sauce, and pour that on top. And there you go, you have barbecue wings instead of buffalo. Or you just go ahead and you give it a drizzle. And if you do a single batch, you can buy the smaller bottle. For the double batch, buy 2 of the smaller bottles. But I go to Walmart and I get this nice big one, and I go ahead and I fill it up and get it all nice and juicy. Gotta make sure you got a lot of it covered. I mean, you're not going to use all of it, but you'll have leftover buffalo sauce. There's nothing wrong with that. One more step, and then you get to bake it. Next, you just put on your cheese. I like to buy 2 bags whenever I make this, just to make sure there's enough cheese on there, because everybody likes it whenever it's cheesy. So you go ahead, put that on top. 1 bag definitely will do the job, but like I said, it always tastes better to have more cheese. Again, you won't use the full 2nd bag, but just enough to give it that full covered amount. And there you go. That's your prep for the buffalo chicken dip. Take a look at those layers. Those layers are what make this recipe world famous. Actually, at least just campus famous in my case. But I believe that if you go ahead and you keep the layers separated instead of mixing together inside a crock pot, you get the individual flavors. You get the cooling sensation of the ranch cream cheese on the bottom mixed with that spicy heat for the wing sauce, and they complement each other very well. So I always recommend layering your casserole. Next, make sure you have your oven preset to 350. Because mine was already there, I just turned it down a little bit. But you go ahead, you put it in for half hour, 30 minutes, or until it's bubbling. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. Serving suggestions with buffalo chicken dip. I always recommend Tostito scoops. If you're going to have a large group, either get party size or 2 bags. Depends on how prepared you want to be. They also don't break that easily. Also, I love washing it down with a nice, cold, refreshing Miller Lite. Also, for holidays, you can dye the cream cheese. St. Patrick's Day, dye it green. For 4th of July, you could do red and blue and white in the middle. Whatever your choices are. But you could just keep it simple and always keep it as the original. Oh, it's done. Let's take it out and see how it looks. There you go. Now be careful because it will be hot as soon as it comes out. But once it cools off a little bit, dig right on in. Alright guys, it's ready.